one way or another. And him and Skip can hopefully help shore things up a little bit, be solid first and foremost. So, listen, it's not Leicester's first pick 11, shall we say, if all the players were available, but certainly enough to do a job.
I don't mind actually a Stoke away for your first game as a manager. I think, you know, because it's going to be a tough place, like Matt says, you know, I don't think I've had a easy game ever when I've played at Stoke. You know, it's one of those places where no matter what time of season you're playing at Stoke, it's going to be tough. And as a new manager come in, I think he's going to be fired. The lads are going to be fired up, and to go to somewhere like Stoke could be a blessing in disguise because you're up for the game, which you need to be at Stoke.
Ex-manager there as
exactly,
well.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a bit of a
little bit of an edge, but well, it would be anyway, regardless. But yeah, you're right. Listen, I think Gary will try and test the players. Might not be the right terminology, but he's going to put it on the players there. The lads, they've got to take some responsibility, and they've got to stand up, be counted. Basically, he'll do that in as nice-ish a way as possible. But at the end of the day, it's the truth, isn't it? They've got to go, and it'll be saying no better place to start than Stoke away.
Yeah.
Let's see how we fare.
Well, let's hear from the new manager then. Rowett speaking in his first interview since joining the club, spoke to Fox's Hub about wanting to bring a pride back to the supporters in this team at the moment. Couldn't get any sound there on that. Apologies, we are having a few technical difficulties today. Basically, we'll just keep talking now as we build up to kick-off, and we can talk about Gary Rowett. I know I can tell you, as we've watched the interview, Matt, since joining the club, he's talked a lot about that particular point of wanting the supporters to have pride again in players, in performances, in what Leicester produce on the pitch.
Yeah, it's obviously got a sort of pinpointed a few.
We are set the squad out. We'll be all right, and we'll win games. But I think today is a huge game for him. I think he'll get some abuse off the Stoke because obviously I don't think he's been very well liked there, has he? But obviously that's a different story. But there's all sorts of elements which will fire the players up for this game, which is going to be great.
Yeah, and be mindful. We're talking about making Leicester solid first and foremost, but you can't forget about the other side of the play as well, because you don't want that to dissipate, disappear. But because it's balance, isn't it, really? But I think we know what his priorities will be.
Yeah, he said in his pre-match press conference as well, he just wants his team to be desperate to win.
Yeah.
And you'd like to think that the footballers are always desperate to win every time they step out onto the pitch. Sometimes, I'm not talking about this group, I'm not talking about any group, but some teams, maybe it's not the case. And so he's coming in and if he's saying that in his first press conference, clearly he means what he's saying?
I think it's a sort of case of personality of the players, you know. And Matt would have played with players, and I played with players. But I was devastated to get beat. You know, if you got beat on a Saturday, you were absolutely devastated. You know, if you were going out that night, or how would you stop in? And I'd be like, I'm not doing it. But, you know, more and more players have got to take that responsibility to say, you know what, I am desperate to win. I want to win because it's going to ruin my life if I don't. And I think that's the sort of thing, you know, that's what I got from that interview that he did. That's what he's trying to express to the players.
Yeah, and also I think along with that, I mentioned it at the back end of last week against Southampton in the FA Cup after the defeat there. It's about the players that they're desperate to win because they believe that they're good enough to get that result. As a team, individually, again, there's got to be that genuine belief from the players. You know, to say, right, come on, right, we should be winning here. We can win here. Not, oh, Stokes, oh, that's a tough game away. Or if things go wrong, it could become difficult. You don't want that mentality. You want to go, right, Stoke away. Nice to turn them over, wouldn't it? Get one over on them. Yeah, we can do it. Look around that dressing room and have genuine belief. And I think Gary and Callum alongside him can help maybe improve that belief by turning things around a little bit and the ways that we've said earlier. But you know, a couple of performances, a couple of results, that belief generally comes flooding back.
Yeah, and is it a simple case of just confidence and belief then? You'd have thought after the 3-0 up against Southampton, maybe that was back, and then what happened in the second half happened, but there has to be then belief in the group that if they go 1-0 up, 2-0 up today, touch wood, hopefully that happens, that they've got the belief they can hold on, they can keep a clean sheet.
I think sometimes when a new manager comes in, you know, it's you know, we've said this a lot about Leicester City, but it's a clean slate sort of type of thing. So if you do go 2 and 3-0 up, you know, at half time with a new manager, you feel that sense. When I always played on a new manager, I always feel that sense of, right, the confidence was going through, and I just thought, Rowett coming in the way he is, the type of guy that do go 1-2-0 up, and I think they will have the I think he will distill that confidence in them to say, you know, you can crack on and win the game.
Yeah, if you are just joining us, apologies. We have had some technical issues. I think, you know, headlines-wise, we're talking about Gary Rowett, of course, his first game in charge against his former club Stoke. News-wise, Christensen has come in at left-back, Jeremy Monga in at right midfield. They're the two headline pieces of team news. So it's a back four of Nelson and a coach, particularly Matt, if we just concentrate on those two for now, obviously. We know we've seen how individually good they are. We just need to see it more as a pair. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yeah. Broadly, I would say. I think individual mistakes have cost Leicester. I'm not just relating it to the two centre halves aforementioned. It just, you know, as a general comment, really. And I think that's an area again where Gary can improve, like the concentration levels, right? To sort of reiterate how important it is, communication, but concentration, discipline throughout the 90+ minutes, not just in patches in games. Because I have seen Leicester be guilty of that a little bit. I'm not just using the Southampton game as an example, the 3-4, but other games they've sort of taken the lead and then they've just taken their mind off it a little bit. They've switched off, and sometimes they haven't turned up for whatever reason in the second half. I don't quite know. That's happened numerous times, hasn't it? Portsmouth at home as well, which sort of leaves me sort of scratching my head a little bit. But just generally, in general play, I think it only takes 1-2 players just to switch off a little bit, or just take the foot off the gas a little bit, and the opposition get encouragement. Just keep that discipline, intensity about the play, like throughout. Be not a horrible side to play. It would be a difficult side to play against. Be disciplined, and you know, again, I think Gary can help instill that in the players, because they've been guilty of slacking off at key moments at times.
Yeah, I think so. With the concentration thing's a big thing for me, for the defence. I mean, the times I've watched Leicester play, it is like Matt says, it's just a split second to turn your concentration off, or your communication's not quite there, and you get punished, especially in in this league where everybody beats everybody, don't they? I mean, it's one of them where you do switch off, then you can get punished. And I think if he can, get back to solid, like we've been saying, solid, the concentration level's up, I think they'll do all right.
Try and get like a bright, busy mentality.
Yeah.
They're at the back. The best back fours or back fives, whatever that are, everyone's talking, everyone's yapping, everyone's, on people's case, even if it's just to keep themselves alert.
Yeah.
The times I've played against teams where they've been talking, I mean, like, not necessarily about the football match.
Yeah.
They've been talking about different things, and I'm like, sometimes you look and think, oh God, they've got a bit of, bonding together, they know exactly what they're doing. And that's the sort of thing I think, teams need communication all the time. I mean, joking here, when I was at Luton, you used to call it rabbit, keep rabbit. And that's all we did. And I think that when you play against teams like that, I think, as an opposing team, you think, oh, there's a big thanks of, oh my God, you're under the cosh already.
Got to be at it today, yeah.
Yeah, and they've got players in that team that are capable of doing that. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, Oliver Skip, in that role there. He will not stop, will he, in midfield?
No, some of them maybe not sort of naturally outgoingly expressive, and you don't have to be. You don't have to be like sort of Captain Braveheart or anything. But it's just information and communication, really. They're there, just lively encouragement, but also a bit of guidance, advice, etc. Skip, Harry Winks, is probably as communicative, is that a word, as anyone. Just about got it out. But ideally, your centre halves are quite busy, quite loud, aren't they? And that's where, like young Ben and Caleb Coley, perhaps there's an area for development there, but that can be encouraged again by Gary and Callum and Elliott. So, Ricardo, listen, he's experienced enough. Begovic, goalkeeper, like a lot comes from him, etc. Obviously, he's been around the block, and but everyone's got to join the party. Everyone's got to join in, and whatever age, whatever type of personality you are, you've got to show that spirit and that desire. And back to that word again, belief.
Yeah. Let's quickly talk about Stoke. We've got a couple of minutes before we hand over. Again, there are some technical difficulties from the Bet365, but we should be able to get the game to you. At a minimum, there'll be commentary, but hopefully we'll get the video feed as well for you. Stoke haven't won in 7, Steve. That's something that we can take as confidence heading into this.
I think the start of the season really well, really strong. And
they were third or fourth for a couple of months, weren't they?
It was funny looking at the league, and you think, Stoke's obviously turned up this season. And then I think they've obviously forms have dipped. I think they've got a few injuries as well. So they're in a similar boat to Leicester in a way. But I think, it's going to be, like I said, it's not an easy place to go and play football. The crowd's intense. It's always that kind of place. It's going to be aggressive. Mark Roberts.
Blowy up there, isn't it?
It's always windy.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It's always. I've never played there when it's been calm. Yeah, it's always a Tuesday night I've played there as well. It's been raining as well. But anyway, so I think Mark Roberts is on his side, aggressive. With the team he can have, I think he's going to be organised. So I think it's going to be tough. But I think with the new manager coming in, a few of the Leicester players are going to be looking at it thinking, I'm going to try and impress you and stand up to be counted, which Matt's been saying, that's what the team needs. I think they'll do all right today. Yeah,
that is one thing, I guess, Matt, that you can hang your hat on when a new manager comes in at any club at any level. I'm talking non-league to Premier League. Surely there's a reaction from the players. Yeah.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you? I mean, I suppose the obvious thing that people would think about is if we're talking about stuff like that, it's like it should have happened before. But it hasn't for whatever reason. Things are as they are. But it comes to a point where there's got to be a change, isn't it? There's got to be because it's frustrating because Leicester have had their moments, haven't they? Like throughout the season.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Not just fleeting moments either, But that was like an exaggerated example. It's the Southampton game, but it sort of sums things up to a degree, doesn't it? The capabilities of Leicester are there. It's not like they're a doomed, relegation-looking outfit who people were backing them to go down from the start. It's circumstances that have come together.
I think even the Coventry first half, I think it was.
Away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're
That's
looking at
top
that
of the
performance,
league.
that's top of the league.
Yeah.
That's like
Ipswich,
Premiership
3-0.
team and that. You're thinking, they're going to win. They're going to walk this league.
Carved them
If they can
apart,
play like that.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden, they don't. And I think, I presume what you're saying there about the Southampton game, 3-0, you're thinking, oh, he's Leicester. This is the team. This is the quality they've got in the squad.
Yeah.
And then obviously, you know, what happens. And
maintaining that. It's difficult to put your finger on it, and hopefully Gary Rowett and Callum will be able to do that. But it's finding that solution, because is it individual players? Is it something that's set in collectively over a period of time? That mentality, sort of the fragility, I don't know. But it can soon turn around again as well, with a couple of victories, etc. So, and I think the potential is there for that. But first and foremost, they've got to get that sort of grinding mentality between them, even if it doesn't come naturally to them as individuals.
Yeah, right. It is time to hand over now. We are just over 5 minutes away from kick-off down the A50 at the Bet365 Stadium against Stoke. It's Gary Rowett's first game in charge of the Foxes. Fingers crossed for all 3 points today. Coming up after a little explainer, we've certainly got commentary for you. Hopefully we'll have the full live feed as well. So just bear with us while we are having some technical difficulties. Thank you to everyone that has watched with us today, though. Coming up, we've got the full game.
If you are watching on lcfc.com, just sit back and relax. If you are watching on social media, the live stream will finish shortly. If you want to continue enjoying our coverage, you'll need to head over to lcfc.com/Foxes Hub and purchase one of our game passes. If you are watching in a territory where the game isn't live on TV, you'll be able to watch a live video stream on Foxes Hub. Please visit lcfc.com/territories to check. If you can't find your location, live audio commentary is still available. You'll need to have an lcfc.com account before you purchase your Game Pass. If you already have one, please sign in and select your product at lcfc.com/Foxes Hub. Select the Buy button and you'll be taken to the payment page. Once you've followed the simple payment steps, press Continue at the bottom of the screen and you'll be taken to the Foxes Hub homepage. If you purchased a video pass, please select Watch Live from the Foxes Hub drop-down menu. If you purchased a Listen Live pass, please select Listen Live. If you purchased a seasonal or monthly video pass and the game is not being shown in your territory, please select Listen Live. If you are having a payment or technical issue, please email Leicester TV Support at streamamg.com. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the match.
Hello and welcome to Foxes Hub, coming to you live from Staffordshire for this early kick-off in the Championship. Stoke City against Leicester City is here at the Bet365 Stadium. Game number 1 for Gary Rowett at the helm. City starting the day in the bottom 3, losing their last 4 in the league, but is the former Foxes defender the man to steer Leicester towards calmer waters. Team news for the 2 teams that are on the field here in Stoke. And it's Stoke under former Leicester player Mark Robins making 4 changes from their last league game. That was a 1-0 reverse at Stoke 10 days ago. Eric Bocat, Ben Pearson, Bae Junho and Milan Smith coming in, replacing Bosun Lawal, Stephen Nzonzi, Jerison Raksaki and Thomas Rigo. So it's Simpkin in goal, Bocat, Wilmot, Phillips and Cresswell is the Stoke defence. Seko and Pearson sitting in front of them, with Cisse, Bae Junho and Thomas in behind Smith, who is up front. Gary Rowett's first Leicester 11 shows 2 changes from the last league game, which was the 4-3 loss at home to Southampton. Victor Christiansen makes just his 2nd Championship start of the season. Jeremy Monga also comes in. They replace Luke Thomas and Abdul Fatawu. Begovic, the City goalkeeper. The defence is Ricardo, Akole, Nelson and Christiansen. Skip and Winks in midfield with Monga, Makassa and Mavadidi behind Daka up front. Jerry Taggart, former Leicester defender, also enjoyed a a really positive spell with Stoke City, the Taggart derby. All eyes though for you, Jerry, on the team in blue, and Gary Rowett, a former teammate of yours, alongside Callum Davidson, in charge today, and hoping that gives Leicester the spark they need.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, welcome to Gary and Callum, of course. Big job on their hands. You know, still a lot of players are not able to pick from in the squad, but hopefully obviously he's been in the dressing room with the players and out in the pitch, and hopefully he can, you know, galvanise the team to a performance today and a result.
A blast of the PA. Two teams emerge from huddles either side of the halfway line, and two teams in their traditional colours. Leicester all in blue, Stoke City in red and white striped shirts. This is a ground that has